Rapid Shot was designed and made in 2010 by Mr. Gregory Huao. It is a Nintendo Wii compatible gun controller, which has Wii Remote and Nunchuk controller functionalities integrated and doesn't rely on the user to insert additional controllers. This is not a gun cradle and can be compared to other integrated Wii controllers such as the Penguin United Crossfire Remote Pistol, the Scorpion V, or the Big Ben P99, all of which I have covered in episode 138. The Rapid Shot was made to look like a Heckler & Koch MP5K. Unfortunately, as for the realism of the controller, Mr. Huao struggled to find distributors. In 2010, the controller was prominently covered in media due to being showcased at E3 by Innex, who intended to sell the Rapid Shot using its Komodo brand. Sadly, Innex eventually dropped its distribution deal because they anticipated import difficulties. Only one distributor decided to pick up the controller into their catalog, Italian-based Boojakascha 3, who sold it as Mitragliatrice Wii, which simply means Wii Machine Gun. Blue Label Entertainment helped Boojakascha 3 with the Italian distribution. Just a global total of 1000 units were manufactured, and today the controller is very rare. The Rapid Shot has built-in rumble and a speaker, just like a standard Wii Remote does. The force feedback in my unit was broken, but working in some lubrication while providing clean power solved the issue. The feedback is fast but not very strong. It is always on and cannot be disabled. The controller is hard to repair, as it is mostly held together by 1.6mm triangle screws and thus demands a security bit or screwdriver. The gun is powered by 2 AA batteries, which are inserted into the removable magazine. While this is a cool design idea, it might as well be the cause of the Rapid Shot's biggest weakness. If the controller is shaken vigorously, sometimes it disconnects from the Wii console. My guess is that this might be caused by the batteries momentarily break contact to the terminals. If this is really the only cause, the issue can be simply resolved by inserting a little piece of metal into the bottom of the magazine. For example, a little ball of folded aluminium foil, which will then shorten the available space and increase the force against the minus terminal spring. The Rapid Shot came with a removable scope, which slides onto a plastic accessory rail. The fake elevation and windage adjustment knobs increase the realism, but certainly block a portion of the field of view. With the scope removed, the player can still aim, using the authentic notched rotary drum sights. Personally, I liked both types of aiming, but preferred the latter. The non-adjustable buttstock's length was chosen to support the scope use case though, and when shouldering the controller, I wasn't able to focus onto the iron sights with my eyes. Luckily, I discovered a previously non-documented feature. The buttstock is removable, which allows the player to hold the controller in a pistol-like manner. That way, aiming works very well. The clicky trigger is push-button switch-based and feels nice. It acts as B-button and cannot be remapped on the controller. In my opinion, the buttons are placed more ergonomically than stealthy, which makes sense, as the Rapid Shot is a serious controller, which can be used with most non-motion plus Wii games, and not just with the light gun games. When normally playing, the user holds the front grip with the left hand. The A button, which is on the right hand side of the grip, is operated by the index finger. Depending on the game, the player would want to rest the left thumb on the right hand side of the rifle, where the D-pad and the 2 numeric buttons 1 and 2 are. Just like on a real Wii remote, the D-pad is rather small and can be difficult to use at first. To the right of this button cluster are the LED indicators, which show which wireless channel was used for the connection to the console. Next to those is the power button. The plus and minus buttons are located at the right hand side on top of the trigger and therefore can be operated with the right index finger. Close to those buttons are the home button and the sync button. To avoid accidental button presses, they are surrounded by a plastic circle, which makes it harder to push them, but they are also almost out of reach for the index finger. On top of the home button is the speaker grill. Where the buttstock reaches the handle, the nunchuck portion of the controller was put. The analog joystick and the Z button can be reached comfortably by the thumb, but the C button is already so far at the side that it requires a little bit of strain. Compared to a real Wii Nunchuk, it's almost impossible to simultaneously operate the Nunchuk buttons and the joystick at the rapid shot. In contrast to the original joystick, the one on the rapid shot can be clicked down for extra functionality, which reminds me of the Precision FX, whose joystick did the same. All buttons but sync and power are rubber dome based. Those two exceptions rely on push-button switches. Considering the rapid shot is a Nintendo Wii light gun, it performs very well. Its precision is very good and its accuracy even exceeds the Nyko Vand Plus, which I deemed the best way to play Wii games prior this video. I had better success calibrating and playing using the iron sights rather than the scope, but both use cases work well. I like the rapid shot a lot. It's a fantastic controller and looks very nice. It instantly became one of my favorite ways to play the Nintendo Wii. It has better accuracy than the Big Ben P99 and the Penguin United Crossfire remote pistol, without making any sacrifices in regards to ergonomics and comfort. While I haven't used the rapid shot outside of gun games, I can imagine that its sheer bulk could make it difficult to perform some of the motion gestures the Wii is infamous for, even if the buttstock is removed. The box Boojakascha 3 used is plain but appealing. The front shows the SMG with a target plate in the background. A flap can be lifted to reveal the actual gun behind transparent plastic. On the back of the flap is another photo of the rapid shot on which it was attempted to label buttons and functions. As just one image was used, the designer seems to have been overwhelmed by the task and didn't even try to point the lines for the speaker grill and the plus-minus buttons to a sensible location. The back describes the product in 5 languages. Personally, I find it curious how Boojakascha 3 dared to openly admit that the controller is made to look like a Heckler & Koch MP5K without proper licensing. This is the end of the review. My name is Ben. I thank you for viewing.